Are you hearing me? Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for joining our live debates. We have a matter of an hour working with, and we just want to start firstly with the opening remarks and instructions from Michael Allen, Director of Elections, Policies and Constitutional Affairs.
Good afternoon to all our viewers joining us online. Welcome to the first round of the USM United Student Movement debates, the first in history of its kind, as our debates will be hosted entirely online. In this unique setting, we will be hearing from our vice presidential candidates, followed by our presidential candidates. What an interesting campaigning period it has been. Taglines have been so stimulating and interesting. Some of these include vote Marlene Campbell for infinite possibilities. You are in good hands. Believe, Confessor can. Stenokia, in this time of Corona, new leader, new vision, new mission. Keep moving forward, Nicole McFarlane says. Raising the spiritual bar higher, says Michael Morris. Will to refuel. I don't just speak the change, I am the change. With Natalie's, you feel at ease. Nicole Scarlett, vote Nicole for financial control. And finally, this has been so exciting and stimulating. I now turn over to our moderator, or Associate Public Relations Officer, Ms. Tonian Hudson, as she leads us into hearing from these our candidates. Listen critically, students, as your student leaders present themselves and their plans and projections for the 2020-2021 United Student Movement regime.
All right, thank you, Director. So to go through this program, we want to first welcome our judges. We have Dr. Sharifa Burchell from the College of Natural and Applied Sciences. We have Arton Wedderburn, final year School of Religion and Theology student. We also have Mr. Orville Morgan from the Office of Admissions and Recruitment, and Miss Jennifer Bartley from the Records Department. She is also a former chief female sports sponsor, a former chief female sponsor for USM. So we are gonna be beginning with Prior from our VP of Spiritual Affairs, Mr. Haron Guthrie.
Let us pray. Great God in heaven, we're thankful to be alive. We ask for your hand to continue to be upon us, may continue to keep us safe, and during this time of great uncertainty, may we return to you. We do ask that your presence may be with today's segment of the debates. Lord, we pray that for each candidate that anxiety shall not be near, but that they shall be collected. And Lord, we pray that they shall represent themselves well. The plans that you have laid on their heart, may they be able to share these plans with the student population in a meaningful and persuasive way. We pray that each shall be equipped with the ability to rightly handle the questions that will be presented. We pray for us, the students, that with the information presented, that we be enabled and empowered to make a right decision come election day. We thank you in advance for your guidance in this process. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right, thank you very much, VP. We are going to be starting with our vice presidential debates, and we are going to be taking VP of Student Services and Social Affairs, Nicole McFarlane, and then VP of Spiritual Affairs, Michael Morris. Both persons will be given an allotted time of 5 minutes. Judges, do you have any remarks before we begin?
I am ready to hear from the candidates. Orville Morgan here.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Morgan. All right, so now we'll take you, Nicole McFarlane. You have an allotted 5 minutes, and we have Miss Ayana Saku, who is our timekeeper. So we may begin now.
Distinguished panel, member of the USM body, other candidates, my NCU family, viewers, a pleasant good afternoon to you all. Only a life lived in the service of others is worth living. My name is Nicole McFarlane, and I'm a candidate for the USM Office of Vice President of Student Services and Social Affairs. As a third-year computer information system student and a third-year resident of Jamaica Hall, I believe there's a lot can be done to improve the students' life here at Northern Caribbean University, and I, Nicole McFarlane, have the knowledge and experience to do so. Before getting into my manifesto, I'd first like to define what is a manifesto. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines manifesto to be a written statement declaring publicly the intentions, motives, or view of its issuer. Today, I'll be doing just so. The first issue at hand is the violence against students of the Northern Caribbean University. Too frequent, we are hearing that students are being robbed and attacked in nearby communities here in Mandeville. What is the cause? What is causing this increase in attacks on our students? One of the main reasons is that most students do not have the transportation or they do not have the resources to pay for transportation. A solution I would see to implementing the issuing of transportation vouchers to students who simply cannot afford the fee to go on the bus. The solution will have fewer students on the road walking because they have the opportunity to be brought home. The second issue is the cafeteria. I would consider the most visited place on campus. However, long lines and long waiting times result in many students reporting to class late and sometimes missing out on important activities. A solution that I will lobby for is more cashiers to work at the peak time, being 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is observed that there are 3 cashing tables available. Why not use them? Cashiers are to be available at the 3 stations during the peak hours of the day to prevent long lines, to reduce the long waiting times for students, and to prevent students being late for their classes. Thirdly, it is said quite too often, and I quote, USM officers are not being involved in the matters affecting the students' everyday life, and the USM representatives are not seen on campus. They are always at the USM office. End of quote. I am proposing that the USM executive body will visit each department to hear the students' first-hand concerns. We can do so by attending these departmental meetings, club meetings, or simply walk into each department to the East Campus to check if the nursing students are doing fine or if there are any concerns to be addressed. Fourthly, it is said there is a lack of medium to communicate. Most students have the problems or complaints, but they do not know the correct persons to bring these concerns to. Through my office, I'll continue the Speak Out group, which was implemented by the former VP, and create an online link where students can fill the form giving details of their problems and concerns using their computers or mobile phones. I will also facilitate the housing of frequent town hall meetings, not just to state the complaints, but starting each and every meeting with updates of what was said at the previous town hall meetings and highlighting progress made thus far. The bathrooms and Robinson Hall. I will lobby for proper cleaning and proper and better water storage for the bathrooms and Robinson Hall. Water drums can be placed in the bathrooms, so in case there's a water lock off, water is there for students to use. Last but not least, our dorm residents. The most used commodity on dorm is water. It is very frustrating to get up to prepare yourself for your 8 a.m. or 9:30 class when it's time to shower, not a drip in the pipes. Having first-hand experience, From this, here's a couple solutions I would implement. Timely notice. When there's a water lock off or problems with the pipe, students should be informed by email or written notice with the estimation of when the water service is expected to return. If there's a need for work to be done on the pipes, the student should be informed.
Sir, up time.
I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Nicole McFarlane. We'll now take Michael Morris. Okay, all right, so we'll now move on to offices with multiple candidates, and we'll be taking it in this order. We have VP of Finance and Planning, Emmanuel Confessor, and Nicole Scarlett, sorry. And we have Vice President of Academic Administration, Marlene Campbell, and Naphtali James. Each person will be given a time of 7 minutes. We'll be taking Finance and Planning now. Mr. Emmanuel Confessor, are you ready?
Yes, miss.
Okay, you may go right ahead.
The camera is on. Can you see me? All right. My friends, now let's get real with each other because this is the time to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. With this crisis on our hands due to the imminent COVID-19 outbreak, we know it's going to be very difficult returning to school. Some of us may not even come back, and that is heartbreaking. But if I could pay everyone's tuition, cover your rent and expenses, I would do it. For you and know both, that will never happen. Even with the anticipated club fees, surplus of cash, scholarships, fundraisers, we won't be able to assist everyone. However, what I can do instead is to encourage you to think what matters the most, and that is being our brother's keeper. What I'm saying to you, what I'm saying is that we have approximately 4 months to hone our craft or a skill, whether it be cooking, baking, barbering, hard racing, even gaming. There's many creative ways to ensure that you make your little bread and butter. It is time to show that we're made of in this time of crisis. So instead of sitting and fretting about where your next door is coming from, let's put our minds to work and see what we can come up with alongside what I have said before in a strenuous time like this. While we're at home doing that, we'll be seeking to find out the protocols and looking to see how best this can be available to you. But when you return, there is no action. As Sarah Hartley said, the best insurance policy for the future of an organization is research, which will be helped to foresee future lines of development to solve its immediate problems and to improve its products. My friends, I have spent most of my semester shadowing the current USM financial sector, learning the day-to-day operations, what it takes to be a VP of finance, what is lacking, what can be improved, ensuring that I am mentally and emotionally prepared to handle such a responsibility. Furthermore, in March 2020, my research took a different perspective as I have been scurrying to find ways in which we can survive financially the COVID-19 outbreak. I was sitting with my brother, Samuel, and I was feeling discouraged because, I was unable to go back home with our families and relatives amidst this crisis. But he reminded me of many blessings that I had before me. God has me here to continue the work I set out to become your next VP of Finance. And it got me thinking about my 3 plans and projections, which is included and not limited to, first, transparency. It is your money, and you deserve to know how it's being spent. Therefore, my sector will provide with monthly statements, financial statements, explaining how your money is being allocated. Number 2, more scholarships and financial assistance. For research and personal observation based on the COVID-19 outbreak, there will be a surplus amount of money that will be profitable to you in a way of subsidies and personal assistance. and we're going to help you with any challenge you may face. Additionally, we can anticipate a raise of the meal voucher from 400 to 500, so you can purchase more. Now, in number 3, Vibrational Daily Essential Packages, or DEP. This was created because of the challenges that students are facing while being on campus, such as the need of personal items. This is my way of assisting to mitigate the stress. But how will it work? If you take a moment to observe what is happening with the COVID-19 outbreak, we realized that our current gym would have had to cancel plenty of events, such as Social Impact, Schools Impact, Financial Education Day, among others. This is why, apart from scholarships and help with tuition, I decided to initiate the daily essential package. So it includes the daily necessities needed to ensure students who are in need of these essentials are comfortable. How will it be funded? First portion of the balance brought forward from the current regime is scholarships and fundraisings. Who will get this? Students that are in dire need. We all have a struggles, and some of us really don't have it. How will we decide who gets that? Students who are true to themselves. They must be true to themselves. If you know that you're in dire need of essentials, you make the request and you will be given a package. I find that it would be remiss of me to ask you for any protocol or any applications or meetings, because after we are going through all of that, 2 weeks has passed and you're just getting the package. So ask and you will be given. And that's how I, Emmanuel Confessor, will be your keeper. But you must have faith. You must not be stamped by individuals who were too remiss to construct a proper plan for you. Friends, I have provided the machinery to maintain our financial system, and it's up to you to support and make it work. I've shown you how I can be your keeper. As a brother now, it is your turn to be my keeper by heading to the polls on April 8th and vote Emmanuel Confessor. NCU, you are in good hands. Just believe, I, Confessor Ken. Thank you for listening.
Confessor Khan, thank you very much, Emmanuel. And let's now take Nicole Scarlett, who is also vying for the post of VP of Finance and Planning.
Good afternoon, everyone. Douglas MacArthur once said, "A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. He does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent." I am Nicole Scarlett, an intelligent, enthusiastic, innovative, trustworthy, and who is a junior year accounting major here at Northern Caribbean University. I am among those who envision a movement who serves the student interest, engage in advocacy on behalf of students, and promote spiritual development among students on campus, as stipulated in the United Student Movement Constitution, Article 4, Section 2. Financial planning has become a crucial part of our society today. It helps to determine the short-term and long-term goals and provide a detailed strategy for planning and investing in order to achieve the goals set. Financial planning is a strategy to achieve our goals through meticulous monitoring and management of our finances. Once elected as the Vice President of Finance and Planning, I will fulfill the mandate and strive to educate the student population on financial literacy and its importance, establish appropriate revenue recognitions, liaison with professionals or entities from our business society to create a networking environment, and work with NCU Student Finance to ensure that students are registered and cleared for exam within a prompt time frame. Firstly, Kenton described financial literacy as the ability to understand and effectively apply financial skills which will help individuals achieve financial stability. It is important that students become knowledgeable about the basic steps of finances, as it will help in their college life and their future endeavors. In order to foster students with the knowledge they need to effectively monitor and control their finances, I will facilitate forums in which we will discuss business issues that plague our society and the world at large. Seminars or workshops will be held on business topics such as budgeting, investing, understanding how to analyze and interpret your student account on Arion, debt, managing debt, and so on. It is integral that students understand how efficient it is to maximize on this plan. Secondly,
Nicole, thank you so much.
yes,
We have to cut you right here. Our apologies. We'll be going for a short break and then we'll be sending a link for us to rejoin. Please don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
okay.
Hello, colleagues. My name is Naphtalies James. I am vying for the position of Vice President of Academic Administration for the United Student Movement. My plans and projections include Academic Committee, hashtag Keeping Up with Grades, IMPA Program, Amendment to the United Student Movement Tutoring Program, essay writing competitions, 10-minute impromptu debate sessions, USM Awards ceremony, and Let's Talk. More details of my plans and projections will follow as time progresses. I am Naphtalies James. I don't just speak the change, I am the change. With Naphtalies, you feel at ease.
Leadership is the capacity to translate a vision into reality. I am Marlene Campbell, and I have a vision that I so desire to translate into reality with your help in discovering the infinite possibilities of our academic and personal life. Now, how will we achieve these realities? By augmenting the current tutoring program with the hope of improving the academic performances of the student population, improvements to student advisement, lobbying for monthly meetings with students and their academic advisors, and lastly, leadership exploration and developmental workshops with the aim of achieving holistic development. Help me help you to translate our vision into reality. Vote Marlene Campbell for your next VP of Academic Affairs for the United Student Movement 2020 to 2021.
And I'm here for change. Competence, creativity, character, charisma, confidence, commitment, change.
Present, you're pretty.
It is very challenging to ask students to go above and beyond their academic pursuits. But if given the necessary help and support they need through tutoring, study groups, and academic support services, I believe they will succeed. With the use of these programs, they will be able to tackle the rigors of their academic pursuits, which would result in them not becoming frustrated and dropping out of school. On April 8, 2020, vote Marlene Campbell for your next Vice President of Academic Administration.
Hello? Hello? I'm not really hearing because everybody has their microphone on.
My name is Roel Hay, and I'm here for change. Competence, creativity, character, charisma, confidence, commitment, change.
Leadership is the capacity to translate a vision into reality. I am Marlene Campbell, and I have a vision that I so desire to translate into reality with your help in discovering the infinite possibilities of our academic and personal life. Now, how will we achieve these realities? By augmenting the current tutoring program with the hope of improving the academic performances of the student population, improvement to student advisement, lobbying for monthly meetings with students and their academic advisors, and lastly, leadership exploration and developmental workshops with the aim of achieving holistic development. Help me help you to translate our vision into reality. Vote Marlene Campbell for your next VP of Academic Affairs for the United Student Movement 2020 to 2021 regime.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us back. Nicole,
Hello,
are you ready? We're back to you.
I'm ready. Okay. Secondly, I will aim to establish appropriate revenue recognitions, which can be achieved by liaising with the other sectors of USM, specifically that of sports, social affairs, and projects and special initiative sectors, and by coordinating student activities by way of supporting student organizations. Revenue can be generated from selling goods at a marked up price at different initiatives proposed by these sectors. Example of profits that can be made are by selling sports day jersey, wristband, or hosting the annual culture vibes. A tuck shop can be installed for module students so that whenever they are hungry, too tired to walk to the cafeteria, or the cafeteria has closed, they will be able to have access to food. This initiative can be operated on Robinson Hall during the hours of 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. and will provide food and beverages for these students. This will benefit the students as proceed will go to different activities that aid in creating a better college experience and to scholarship and grants for students who are in need of tuition assistance or other academic enhancement needs. Thirdly, I will liaison with professionals or firms from Jamaica's corporate society to create a networking environment for students. This will be done by planning and executing a student at work initiative for students to get a feel and better understanding of how the working world manages their businesses. Furthermore, the forums and workshops which were mentioned above will benefit students as they get to interact with these professionals. This objective is important for it allows students to market their talents and skills. Finally, I intend to work with NCU's student finance to ensure that students are registered and cleared for exam within a prompt time frame. This is possible by negotiating with student finance by means of advocacy for the students. Also, I will ensure that scholarships and grants offered by the movement are transferred to students' accounts in a timely manner. It would be my primary duty to serve the students' interests, engage in advocacy on behalf of the students, and promote spiritual development among students on campus as a member of the movement. Nevertheless, as the Vice President of Finance and Planning, I should firstly fulfill the mandate within the Constitution and then facilitate the plans in which I believe can be executed while in office. My prospective plans for the USM 2020 to 2021 regime includes educating the student population on financial literacy, establishing appropriate revenue recognition, liaising with professionals to create a networking environment, and working with student finance to ensure that students are registered and cleared for exam within a prompt time frame. Remember, vote Nicole for financial control. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Vote Nicole for financial control. So we've heard from the sectors of VP of Finance and Planning. We have heard from Student Services and Social Affairs and Spiritual Affairs. And we want to take Vice President of Academic Administration, and that is Marlene Campbell and Naphthalis James. As a reminder, you have 7 minutes. It's 7 minutes per candidate, and right after, we'll be jumping into a session of question and answers. So we'll begin with Marlene Campbell. Mike, Marlene, Mike.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. All right. Are you guys hearing me now? Good afternoon, everyone. I am Marlene Campbell, and I'm a second-year psychology major, minoring in the field of communication studies. I'm currently the Vice President of Academic Administration for the East Jamaica Conference Club and the Administrative Assistant for the United Student Movement Projects and Special Initiatives team. Now, as a student, I too face the very same issues that you students are currently facing. And it is with that I take up the responsibility to vie for the Office of Academic Administration to advocate on your behalf for the implementation of programs and initiatives that will enhance our academic performance here at NCU. Now, I will, as if it is that I am voted as your next Vice President of Academic Administration, I will carry over the current tutoring program that is geared towards helping students to improve their academic performance. Now, as you all may know, the problem with the tutoring program is that a lot of students are not aware of the benefits it serves. Therefore, I will ensure that I go class to class, lecture to lecture to promote the tutoring program so that students can be informed as to why they should attend these sessions and the benefits. They will also be promoted through the VP of Academic Administration of the other member organizations. Secondly, I will be lobbying for more books and updated editions in the library and putting on workshops so that students can be informed of how to use the library. A lot of us are complain about the lack of books that we have in the library. We need more updated editions, and as a result, I will lobby for more updated editions to be in the library, to be available in the library. Also, more books to be in the bookshop at a subsidized cost so that you, the students, can have access to these at a reasonable cost. I will also put on a workshops with the library staff to inform the students of how we can use the library database, because we do not, truth and in fact is, we do not need to go to the library to use the library. We can use the library database from home, and therefore I will be partnering with the library staff to put on this workshop to ensure that you, the students, are aware of how to use the library. Thirdly, the nurses. I'm sure a lot of you nurses are experiencing difficulties and challenges throughout your time here at NCU, but you guys are saying, okay, it's the same old, we voice our concerns and nothing is being done to rectify our problems. Therefore, I will ensure that a committee is put in place where nurses can voice their concerns, and we will look into these issues to see how it is that we can solve the issues and improve the issues that you're facing. The committee will consist of the nursing committee, the vice president of student services, and academic administration. Now, we will be advocating on your behalf to ensure that your stay here at NCU will be improved academically. Thirdly, lead workshops, leadership exploration and developmental workshops. Now, a lot of us here, when we leave NCU, we only leave with our degree paper. Now, it is with that I believe that we have been given the opportunity to come to university, and we should make the very best of it. We should become better versions of ourselves so as to be effective employees out there in the working world. Now, what these workshops will be geared towards is to help to develop our professional skills or leadership qualities while expanding and exploring our personal and professional skills to ensure that the qualities that we would have garnered from these workshops would have been our most valuable asset after leaving university. Now, these workshops will help us to be better individuals, help us to improve holistically and not only excel academically, but in all areas of our lives. A lot of students face the issue of when it is graduation time, we're being told that, okay, we did not complete a certain course, or we have a course to complete, however, it is not being offered in summer. As a result, you cannot graduate and you have to stay another semester to complete that specific course in order to graduate. What I will be doing is lobbying for more core courses to be offered in summer so that your stay here at NCU will not be lengthened and go over the time that you are supposed to spend to complete your degree. Lastly, improvements to student advisement. A lot of us face the issue as students of poor student advisement. We go through our university years and we go through our university life. And when it is graduation time, we're being told that we cannot graduate because you have not fulfilled a certain requirement or you did not complete a certain course. Therefore, I will ensure that monthly meetings are put in place so that students can have a forum where they can voice their concerns and issues to their academic advisors so that these concerns and issues can be rectified before it reaches to graduation time, and then we are told that we cannot graduate. Now, these monthly meetings will be beneficial to students as our voices will be heard and we'll be able to voice these concerns so that we can have a better university life and we can spend the right amount of time that we should spend here at NCU. So on April 8th, vote Marlene Campbell for advocacy, for academic success, for infinite possibilities. Vote Marlene Campbell on April 8th for your next Vice President of Academic Administration. Help me help you to translate our vision into reality. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Marlene. Students, viewers, if you have any questions, now is a perfect time for you to submit those on our YouTube Live. We will be administering all of your questions. We'll now take Naphthalise James. Naphthalise, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go right ahead.
You're seeing me?
Yes, we're seeing you.
Okay. Judges, fellow colleagues, USM representatives, EPOC representatives, staff and faculty of NCU, my opponent, all stakeholders and listeners, a pleasant afternoon. Allow me the first minute of this debate to introduce myself to you. My name is Naphthalise James, and I am a third-year criminal justice major vying for the position of VP of Academic Administration for the 2020-2021 academic year. Today, my main purpose and objective is to highlight for you a few reasons why I should be your candidate and why you should vote. Reason number one, My plans and projections include you. Yes, you. Each one of you. I believe that teamwork in anything is paramount, and as such, I will be formulating an academic committee. This committee will ensure that all plans and projections for the upcoming academic year will be successful. The committee will not only comprise of VP of academics in each academic club, but other nominated members upon consultation with club VPs. As having a larger team to work with will ensure that no one person is overworked and ensure that the best is pulled out of each academic projection. Reason number 2, I will engage every student on their level. What do I mean by this? YouTube is a frequently used app by millions of individuals. My guess is a great percentage of you spend at least 5 hours a week on YouTube. So why not use it to our advantage? I will be introducing a project I call Keeping Up with the Grades to do just that. This project involves creating a YouTube channel where we showcase all academic programs held on campus. It will also display study tips, educational games, academic testimonies from our students, and have a plethora of topics in which individuals can voice their opinions by commenting on the channel. This will garner communication skills, which would in turn help students with English courses. And let me just say that this initiation of this project or program could potentially increase the growth of the university at large by giving it a greater worldwide recognition, resulting in an increase in the student population. The third reason why I am the candidate is because I care about your academic success. Yes, Naphtali's cares. Now, of course, I know that over the years, a lot of candidates have said the same, and even my opponent today will say the same, or has said the same. What makes the difference between myself and all the others who have spoken is my passion for education. My passion for education goes back to the struggles my grandmother faced in raising her children and her children in raising my siblings and cousins. It is a common saying in my house that we must not recycle poverty. Education is the only way to ensure that poverty is not recycled. This is what fuels my passion for education and what makes me the perfect candidate for VP of Academics. I want to see you succeed. And as a result, let me borrow a few words from Mr. Morgan. NAF not just talk, NAF full of action. And because NAF not just talk, NAF will be taking it a notch higher, as President Allen would say, with an IMPA program. This program will be geared towards helping students to improve academically. The program will be segmented into 3 different categories, and each category will be created to represent 3 different ranges of GPA. This segmentation will enable the candidate to get the best out of the program and will also allow tutors as well as candidates to monitor their academic growth. The fourth reason why you should vote for Naphtali's is easily summarized by a famous Garvey quote. A person without a knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. The previous regime introduced an excellent program, which the current regime continued, and now I am seeking to make it an improved tradition of excellence. As such, I will be making an amendment to the USM tutoring program. As you all know, the USM tutoring program is geared towards improving the academic performance of those students who are struggling in the classroom. Even though the program is free of charge, persons still do not use this service as expected. The amendment I am suggesting would to provide forums online. These sessions would be cost and time efficient. That is, the cost for travel would be decreased, and tutors who are not readily available to come on site to conduct these sessions could do so online. My fifth and final reason why you should vote for Naphtali's is pretty simple. Your academic life will not be boring. My sector will involve, entertain, and educate you. This will be done through 10-minute impromptu debates, essay writing competitions, and what I call Let's Talk, where I'll make myself available to listen to your concerns. Lastly, a USM award ceremony where you will receive duly deserved recognition. I intend to be the voice the students need. I intend to rebuild students' interest in wanting to improve academically. I am running for this office to bridge the gap between students and admin. I will be your mouthpiece. Today, I implore you, my colleagues, to vote for someone who has experienced the system, someone who has been here long enough to have experienced your pain, and one who has cried your cries. Not one with a year or maybe two of experience who probably have not really seen or heard the abysmal academic cries, but one who experienced and cried them. On April 8th, a vote for Naftalis will be a vote for advocacy. A vote for Naftalis will be a vote for change. A vote for Naftalis will be a vote for excellence. A vote for Naftalis will be a vote for a better GPA. A vote for Naftalis will be your vote for student involvement. A vote for Naftalis will be a vote trusting it to someone who is experienced. A vote for Naftalis will be your vote for someone who cares. So on April 8th, when you click the link and you are on the voting page, vote Naftalis, as there is an assurance that with Naftalis, you feel at ease, as I don't just speak the change, I am the change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. James. Viewers, help us to exercise democracy. If you have any questions, please go ahead and post those questions under our YouTube live, and we will be administering all of them. Right now, we will be taking our judges for their questions, and this will be run in a matter of 10 minutes. Judges?
Good afternoon, candidates. Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Orville Morgan. To the finance team, could you share with us what would be the difference with your job and that of the student finance office? And I've heard individuals vying for ensuring that the clearance for exam permits are done. Could you share with us how you plan on doing that as it relates to ensuring that the monies owed are in the kitty for that to be done?
Okay, Mr. Confessor, you may go first. Okay, we're not hearing from Mr. Confessor, so we'll take Ms. Nicole Scarlett.
Hi, thank you for that question. Could you repeat the last part of it though, please, because I didn't hear it clearly. Mr. Orville?
So thanks very much. The idea of students being cleared for exams, I'm hearing that proposal being made that there will be advocacy with the student finance office. I'm asking, outside of the difference between the role of the USM and that of student finance, how do you propose clearing the outstanding monies owed by students in order for exam permits to be granted?
Okay, thank you so much. So the idea in which I had in mind was to ensure that to lobby for student finance to, when it is that you go up there and probably there's a possibility that what is projected on your account is not what is projected on NCU's account. So I would lobby that, for instance, NCU could possibly update the system in an efficient time so that students are aware of what amount that they owe, along with the fact that when it comes on to registration, there's a thing that I remembered when I came, that student finance had it categorized by SLB recipients, scholarship from different conferences or agencies, persons who are doing monthly payment or full-time payment. So that by categorizing students, you can enable them to know which sector to go to so that it will be efficient enough for them to be registered for classes. When it comes on to being cleared for exam now, the suggestion I gave earlier, along with the fact that the scholarships in which students are given by USM, they can, by being the VP of Finance and Planning, I'll ensure that they get it within a timely manner because that has been a problem over time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. Candidates, please be reminded that you have 40 seconds to submit your responses. So after 40 seconds, we will have to cut you off.
Hello, can you hear me?
Let us now take the other questions. Dr. Burchell, do you have any questions?
I have a
Hello?
question. Oh, sorry.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Pardon?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yes. I was about to say that it's not in my portfolio. I did not promise anything of that. And what I can do is to encourage the students to pay their tuition and assist them in anything I can. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Confessor. Judges?
All right, good afternoon. This is Arton Wedderburn, and thank you, candidate hopefuls, for your presentation. I have one question, which I would like the VP of Student Services hopeful to answer, as well as one member from the VP of Finance hopeful to answer. This is the question. In light of the drawbacks which the current pandemic have placed institutions in right across the board, specifically for NCU, I've realized in your manifestos that there is a lot of lobbying. You intend to lobby. How will you ensure that your lobbying turn into results, considering the fact that institutions are now in a state of firefighting or preventing fires? How will you ensure that whatever you're lobbying for will be recognized and put into practice?
Thank you for your question. Thank you for your question, sir. What's in the upcoming semester, what I want to do is to have the USM exec body on board and all of my plans, and also the support of the admin and the student body. I believe that, and God, I believe that my plans that I lobby for will become a success.
A member from the Finance Hopefuls, Mr. Confessor, or?
Could you repeat the question, please?
All right, in the upcoming semester, if school reopens, there will be much adjustments which will have to be made in light of the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic. How will you ensure that what it is that you're lobbying for will be achieved and not dismissed as non-essential in light of institutions trying to get back on their feet?
What we do is to, in word of collaboration with the admin sector and the finance sector of NCU, try to advocate the students and make sure that all of my plans are through. And if not, try to find other plans that I can advocate, that I can assist the students in. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, and you are welcome.
All right, I have a question following up on the COVID-19 situation. For the VPs of academic affairs, for those who are vying for that position, seeing that now we have had to transition to mainly online learning, and a lot of students have not been accustomed to this modality of learning. How do you think that in the position of VP of Academics, you can help the students to adjust to this new medium, as well as to figure out any issues that they might be facing, help them to better be prepared for this kind of learning? That's question one. And question two, as a lecturer, one of the things that I've noticed about a lot of students is that they are unable to speak or write the English language efficiently. And as college graduates, one of you mentioned that we must be able to make a difference in our communities when we leave as graduates from the college. As college graduates, we should be able to speak and write the language properly. How do you propose that we can get the students to the point where they are better able to utilize the language?
Before you answer, let me just remind you candidates that you have 40 seconds to give a response.
Good afternoon again. Thank you for that question, Ms. Birchall. So for students, what I think is to adjust, they should be in an environment where that is quiet. They should get rid of all the distractions in order to fully utilize the system, as well as there is a part of the system that has this feature where the classes can be recorded. So if students are not able to hear clearly in a classroom, they can go ahead after the session has finished and view that pre-recorded or recorded session. As well as I mentioned a tutoring program, which is geared towards helping students academically, right? So, sorry, point of correction. I mentioned essay writing competitions. So these essay writing competitions will foster students or teach students how to communicate properly or teach them communication skills. So just as a tutoring program has a tutor, there will be persons to check these essays before they are submitted. And in constantly writing, then students will be able to improve on how they write and how they speak. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We are seeing your hand, Ms. Bartley. However, we must take a short break and come back. So please hold the questions, and as soon as we return, we'll be taking other questions, and then we'll be heading into the presidential debate series. All right, thank you so much.
Hi there! If I can sit with you in your living room or at your kitchen table, here's what I would say. My name is Emmanuel Confessor Romando. Listen, when I researched the financial atmosphere of Northern Caribbean University, I realized that it takes strong leaders with backbone and passion to run this thing. Mira que lo que. Or let me tell you something. This position will not only take someone who knows how to analyze financial statements, because to be honest, anybody can do that with training, but most importantly, someone who is modern in their thinking, strategic and practical enough to ensure that the majority of your funds is given back to you our prime stakeholders. But how? Well, by scholarships, personal assistance, whether in tuition assistance, meal or book voucher, and rewards for your continued hard work towards the development of NCU. This is why I, Emmanuel Confessor, answer the call to become your next Vice President of Finance and Planning of the United Student Movement to ensure that you are financially comfortable. Here are my three main projections. Number one, transparency. It is your money and you deserve to know how it is spent. Therefore, my sector will provide you with monthly reported financial statements explaining how your funds are being allocated. Number two, more scholarships and financial assistance. Through research and personal observations based on the current circumstances with the COVID-19 outbreak, I know for a fact that there would be a surplus amount of money that would be profitable to you by the way of personal subsidies and assistance with any personal need or challenge you may face. Hey, you know what? I know that currently you get $400 per meal voucher. However, I can anticipate an increase of 100, which will give you a total of 500 to ensure that you can purchase more. Number three, distribution of DEP, Daily Essential Package. This was created because I have observed the challenges that students are facing while being on campus, such as the need of personal items. And this is my way of assisting to mitigate the stress. Friends, God's willing and with my effort, we will take care of the resources that were entrusted to plan, administer, and allocate your funds. You are in good hands. Just believe, I, Confessor, can. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Elsie Ahachi. Sinokia was here in Brandon University, for just about 4 months. She said she was a foreign exchange student. Her impact is still felt everywhere. I remember the first time I met Sinokia, what stood out to me was her passion. Sinokia is so passionate about what she believes in and is willing to share that passion with others. In the small time she was here, she was on my residence council board. Until today, everyone still talks about her. Everyone still speaks about how easy she was to listen to, how outgoing, how fun, how passionate, how just being able to relate and to understand. And I feel those qualities are still unique. In the short time I met her, she's one of the most amazing people I have ever met. And she's just a wonderful person to be around. Thank you.
The proceeding is made possible by the Rural Refuels Campaign.
Greetings, Jamaica and Northern Caribbean University. I'm Kyler.
And I'm Cleveland Bishop, and we're the founders of the Top Tier Academy. We're a financial education business here in the United States, specifically running out of Atlanta. And we're here to talk to you guys today about Ruel and his potential candidacy for the United Student Movement president position.
Ruel's been one of our outstanding students in the academy, and he's always had big visions with his hedge fund plans. So we've always endorsed it. He has big plans, and he's excited to share everything with you guys there at the campus.
Right. So Ruel is a leader. He's very, very dedicated to learning more and more about finance. But outside of that, you can be, very professional and highly skilled, but if you aren't empathetic and if you don't understand people, then I don't think, any type of leadership position is for you. Ruel definitely has all the attributes of a leader, but then he also has the plan as well. So the hedge fund plan he has is one that centers around conscious capitalism in some way, shape, or form. That is very serious nowadays. People want to know where their money is being invested, and anybody in any capacity right now that is looking to develop their expertise in the financial services world, I think we need that, you know, in this day more than ever, especially with what's happening right now with the coronavirus.
And guys, we are extremely excited to share a little bit more about that plan with you. That's including everyone in Jamaica as well as NCU guys. But again, that can only happen on April 8th if you guys vote. And we'll look forward to hearing from you guys there, guys. Ruel Hay for USM President, guys.
Vote for Ruel. Ruel, we're rooting for you, man. You have
buddy.
our back, and all of the community has your back as well. We want you guys to center around Ruel. He's an awesome, awesome candidate. Look into him as much as you can, guys. All right? Let us know if you have any questions. We're here. Have a good one.
That was made possible by the Rural Refuse campaign.
Student Services VP.
Okay, please remember, candidates, that you have 40 seconds to answer.
Okay, thank you for the question. As I stated in my manifesto, I will be doing improvements to students. Whereas there will be monthly meetings with students and their academic advisors, where the advisors will inform the students on what they need to do as they continue with their academic life, and the students will be able to voice their concerns on a monthly basis to their academic advisors so that the issues can be rectified. Secondly, my lead workshop in my manifesto is geared towards helping students to become better persons. So these workshops will be helping students to read more and become better versions of themselves. Thank you.
Okay, so to the first question, thank you for your question, Ms. Bartley. For the first question, students could use an app that is called Setmore to have maybe to communicate with their advisors every 2 to 3 weeks rather. They should keep track of their academic progress or through bulletins. So get a hard copy of your bulletin and check what you've done already so that you can know exactly which courses you have left. As for the second question, I have what is called keeping up with grades. So if the issue of reading is that there is the issue of reading, so you could use this forum, which I mentioned, keeping up with grades, to post a video, a quick video on YouTube, quick informational video on YouTube. Thank you.
5 seconds to wrap up.
Okay, can I ask my other question now?
Okay, briefly go ahead, please, Judge.
Yeah. VP for student affairs. In light of this virus and the crisis that it has placed on us and what we're expecting to happen in the future in terms of the financial effect it will have on the university. You mentioned we presently have a problem with our water system in the dorms. Now, what will you be able then, because when the students gets back, you would maybe have to say something to these students even before meeting with administration. What would you say to these students to encourage them, to let them know that something will be happening, something that they have never heard before? That's the question.
Good afternoon, Judge. Can you please repeat that question?
In light of what is happening and the financial effect that it will have on the university, the water crisis that we have been faced with over a period of time, I'm sure we will still have water problems, but the water problems will not be solved immediately after the student return back to the campus. No, when on their return, what would you say to these students to encourage them, to let them know that something will be happening, something that they have never heard before, something that you can say to them that gives them hope that yes, something will happen?
Thank you for your question, Judge. What I will say to the dorm residents is that we will be working closely, since I will be living on dorm, I will be working closely with each and every resident. So any concern they have, they can come to me personally. And regarding to the water, I will say to them, please, I will implement the storing of water in each room, like the plastic water bottles. I will be implementing that as well in each and every room for the residents.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
At this point, we just want to run into some questions that we've been getting via YouTube. And this question is particularly for our VPs of academics. The question is it possible upon entering office for you to lobby for the separation of the display of GPAs and grades for persons with multiple majors? You have 30 seconds to answer this question.
At the moment, I'm not aware of any separation between the majors, but I can seek clarification and get back to you at the shortest time possible.
Thank you for that question. At present or currently, I don't know about that, but I will do necessary work to ensure that this is rectified or find out more about said situation. Thank you.
Okay, and we have a question specifically for Confessor. USM depends on club fees for its budget. If there should be a low registration next semester, how will this affect the department? If it does, What is the alternative source of finance? Confessor.
Yes, can you hear me?
We are hearing you.
Yes, thank you for the question. When I use the scholarships and fundraising and also the funds that were brought forward from the current regime, also if there is a low registration in the students, we would assist those who are registering as the best as we can. Thank you very much. Hello?
Okay, Confessor, we heard you. Thank you so much. We now want to run into our presidential debates, and each candidate will receive a time of 10 minutes. We will be having Rural Hay and Sinokia Hibbert. Rural Hay, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, you may go right ahead.
Good afternoon, my family. Indeed, it is an awesome privilege to share with you in such capacity. And as a preamble to this debate, I'd like to share this quote with you. Those who claim to be followers of the master worker and engage in his service as co-laborers with God are to bring their work into exactitude and skill, the tact and wisdom that the God of perfection required in the building of his earthly tabernacle. Review and Herald, January 4, 1906. It is such a leader who possesses the skill sets, competence, and wisdom to navigate the challenges of this campus that is most needed at such a time as this. I am the leader, as this is embodied in my manifesto. Now, there are 4 core items that I'd like to share with you quickly on. Firstly, I'd like to introduce to the university an independent hedge fund. This fund is a developmental fund that is independent of the university, meaning that the university has no hands in its finances, and that includes the United Student Movement. This fund will entail a 100,000 US capital introduction, where 100 students will be trained how to trade Forex and stocks. 20 of these students will then be chosen to execute the trades, and an additional 10 students. These additional students will comprise of 2 accounting students, 2 information technology students, and 6 business students who will serve as financial analyzers. The fund will be dispersed into these different areas. But for us to understand the disbursement, we first have to know what the goal is of this fund. The goal, or the monthly goal of this fund, is to make 100% profit, which is feasible and will be shared at a later date. 10% will go to the university, which will be split into 3 main areas. 2.5% to infrastructural development. And in doing so, we'll be focusing on Robinson Hall, trying to fix the bathrooms, repaint the walls, patching holes in the board walls, fixing desks and chairs, and adding a 55-inch HGTV system to all classrooms on Robinson Hall without. 2.5% will go towards the church building fund in aiding the project when it begins. Otherwise, this portion will be added to infrastructural development. 5% will go towards student scholarship fund, which will be issued through the United Student Movement. This scholarship fund will be eligible for students who can come up with proficient and feasible business model, which can be actuated within the current regime and used for some asset development within the current ownership of the university. Therefore, GPA will not be a criteria for the candidates applying. Where spiritual life is concerned, whomever will be vying for the Vice President of Spiritual Affairs must be an ordained elder and willing to serve within the university church. And this is what I'm seeking to do with that. I'm seeking to make a constitutional change, which is vital, as you will hear further. This president currently serves as the elder within the departments of youth, music, and communication of the university church. The vice president of spiritual affairs will work closely with him in this area to connect the university to the church within these facets of spiritual life and development, which mainly appeals to young people, students, hence validating and fostering the beginning of holistic development within the category of spirituality. Academic development. This will implement a partnership with Udemy, and this one is very much contextually relevant. As you know, we will be faced with challenges from the corona, where students will have exposed to different educational modalities that aids in neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is simply being able to rewire the brain. And that is one of the challenges we have here as we seek to be critical thinkers and how we seek to approach these online classes. We find that it's a challenge because we're not able to rewire our brain into such a construct. This is essential as it will aid in removing the great dependence on the tutorial program, which is not supported as it should be by the students, and several expenses which occur with such a program. Student advocacy. As it is, student advocacy ensures that students get help and resources they need to engage in a positive learning experience. These are some of the goals that I will undertake as president of the student body. A recent study was conducted among student population of the Northern Caribbean University main campus. Amongst the concerns vetted, 100% of the total questionnaires retrieved had concerns on the student advocacy as it relates to administration relation to students in administration approach to academics. From the questionnaires retrieved, I am propelled to bring into effect one of the several possible projections, which is as follows. There needs to be a monthly session hosted by club presidents of the various departments on campus to ascertain information pertaining to the challenges faced by their lecturers. From this session, the club presidents would compile all concerns in a confidential document to be handed over to the vice president of academics monthly. From this, the Vice President of Academics will have these concerns shared to the respective chair of departments, with emphasis to seek to adjust these challenges in their monthly meetings that are being held. This will seek to eradicate any repetitive issues faced by the student populace, hence making the learning environment more feasible with productions of a greater outcome. Additionally, in reference to the students that will be going on internship, practicum, clinicals, there will be a matter of grave concern to these students finding a place of comfortability and accommodation, housing, within the vicinity of the respective locations. As such, I will be assisting in this pivotal issue by ensuring that letters will be sent to the various SDA conferences and by extension the churches within attempts to garner the assistance with helping these students. Finally, the mentorship program highlighted in the United Student Movement Constitution will be revived. Vice presidents and presidents within the USM body will have the mandate of finding at least 2 persons to mentor for his or her office. This will serve as a continuum of competent leadership where students who have been equipped to take over from the current regime will be able to do so. Additionally, eradicating all unnecessary frights in applying for a position in this body. Family, Ruel is here to refuel. On election day, vote.
Turn over to Sinokia Hibbert.
Can you see me?
We are seeing you, Cynthia.
Okay, let's me try something else. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small does not serve the world. That is a quote from Marianne Williamson. Presidents, vice presidents, distinguished guests, my opponents, my people, good afternoon. Who are you not to be? That is the question that you answered when you decided to come to this university. When all the odds were stacked up against you and when no one believed in your dream. And like you, I have had my very own who am I not to be moment. When I decided to come to NCU, all that I had was faith, $15,000, my clothes, and a few other things. I had no parental support because my parents harbored and nursed the fear of inadequacy. But I had a promise from God and I had a vision. I spent a whole month feeling like an alien on campus. I had no ID, no job, and little money. And that is why today I can stand here representing you because and address you as my people and not be political about it because I have walked miles in your shoes. I understand the struggles that you have gone through, that you are going through, and that you are still facing. And not only do I have the very same experiences like many of you, I also have extensive leadership experience in a number of different capacities on and off campus, locally and internationally. So why am I running for president? Because once again, I have been forced to ask myself the question, who am I not to be? Who am I not to be the voice and the ears, the change that my people want to see? So it is on this premise that I once again address you. Good afternoon, my people. But what are my plans and projections? I begin with the Alumni Mentorship Program. As a USM, we have to find creative means to improve relationships between alumni and the current student body. For far too long, we have sold and believed the idea that alumni relations have to be centered on money. And don't get me wrong, money is important and needed, but we can change the status quo. And my mantra is new leader, new vision, new direction. So allow me to extend the debate by adding this new dimension, mentorship. I believe that NCU students can be the best at whatever it is that they do, but that doesn't mean that we don't need help. Whether it is in the area of finance or training or networking, we can greatly benefit from a mentorship program. If we can have a structured program where we can be taught the best practices of the field, where we are studying to go into, and where we will know people in the field, this, I believe, will give us an edge over students from other universities as we will graduate not just with book knowledge, but with the know-how practical knowledge and with the right connection. This program will be facilitated in three ways. Through a series of webinars that will be aimed at addressing areas of interest or concern among students, through a USM Alumni Homecoming Expo, through as well a USM Alumni Day, and also a group and one-on-one mentorship coordination program. Now, for the USM Alumni Homecoming Expo, this will not just be a great networking and mentorship creation opportunity, but also an event geared at raising funds. I'll be asking attendees to give a one-off contribution of only 2,000 Jamaican dollars. And let's say we have 100 alumni attending this event, we can expect pledges amounting upwards of $200,000. If say we divide that money into stipend or material assistance for nurses, teachers, or just practicum students, upwards of 40 persons can be benefited from that. I will also speak on the entrepreneurship initiative. What is the new direction that I have? Many of us struggle with tuition, and it's not because we don't want to pay, but because there are real financial difficulties that hinder us. And though there exist certain means such as work and study, work and travel, and various programs such as canvassing, there's a lot of space for additional employment options. I will be lobbying with various institutions, businesses, and organizations as necessary that will enable us as students to have partnership with these institutions and gain access to part-time jobs or day jobs that can better assist us in the pursuit of our studies. And I have already sent out letters to 3 business establishments within the Mandeville area, and I await their responses. And I will continue to do that. I've also had dialogue with Mrs. Hazel O'Connor, who is the head of the Morris Entrepreneurship Center, who's excited about helping to establish means and ways to help students become more business ready and business minded. And my administration will strategically partner with the center to push for opening of internship opportunities at the Center for students from any discipline and not just business students, where we can learn how we can monetize and create employment using our area of study. 2, to create awareness amongst the student population and assist students in the process of accessing grants that will help them launch their business ideas and help to provide solutions to real life problems. And in the words of Mrs. O'Connor, NCU can become the entrepreneurship center of the Caribbean. And in light of the COVID-19 crisis, we have to think about entrepreneurship as a viable way forward. Breakfast Club and the Food Bank Initiative. Many students on campus, and I myself have experienced this, where you're hungry on campus and actually nobody knows. And imagine the impact that it will have if we can have a meal distribution program that will be facilitated at different points during the semester for a specified number of days, especially around exam time. And a food bank initiative, which is an expansion and a revival of previous regimes' initiatives in the same regard to food distribution. And this initiative is not just aimed at providing packaged food items, but also at partnering with various businesses and organizations, more than likely supermarkets, to provide vouchers or to accept vouchers that can be used within their institutions. So far, I have been in dialogue with a sponsor who is in Canada, who is willing to support this initiative through the donation of select food items, toiletries, and other essential items. Manifesto is a class attendance policy. Now, I think that as a policy, it is constructed very narrowly, and most lecturers interpret it very narrowly. It does not enlist what an excused absence entails, which for most lecturers means being sick and being able to produce a doctor's note as evidence. And it punishes the students. The truth is, there are some things that happen to us as students that we can't readily produce a doctor's note as evidence for an excused absence. So what would I lobby for? What is the new direction that I am proposing? 1, the creation of a list within the bulletin as to what exactly constitutes an excused absence, and to broaden that list so that it will include things like the death of a family member, the birth of a child, extracurricular activities, financial problems, and depression. To also remove the drop-in grade clause or to add some grace to it. You know, recognize punctuality and presence in tangible ways, such as through adding a most punctual or perfect attendance record to the annual banquet celebration. The other initiative under within my manifesto is also the graduation program check initiative. Now, this is proposed to be a graduation monitoring system. It is projected to be an application compatible with Orion that will help students keep on track with their program of study in relation to graduation date and the completion of courses. The means by which the university accomplishes program checks and facilitate the graduation application process have been a sore point for many students. And as was mentioned, a lot of students really do not read their emails, but will have to log into Orion sooner or later, especially if they have online classes. And so therefore, Orion is a more efficient means of communicating something as important as graduation information. And it is projected to work in 2 ways. One, a student will be able to generate or initiate a program check. And two, there will be an update at the end of each semester to the application so that students can see how near or how far they are within the completion of the program. I would also like to speak to you as well on the water sustainability project. We face this problem now. Pardon?
Okay, so that is time, Sinokia. You have rules of time. So we've just heard the presidential debates, and so we want to allow you, our viewers and judges, just to take a few seconds to reflect on the plans that we've heard and to think of your questions. Remember to submit your questions, viewers, through our YouTube link. And we will be going now for a short break, and after we will be taking the questions from our judges and the viewers. All right, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
This is Cedar Hall, home to the Noble Knights. As dorm residents, I know that you have faced and that you are facing challenges. And that is why you need a leader who will listen, a leader who is on a mission. My name is Sinokia Hibbert, presidential candidate for the year 2020-2021 with the United Student Movement. On election day, vote for a new leader with a new vision, going in a new direction. Vote Sinokia Hibbert.
My name is Ruel A, and I'm here for change. Competence, creativity, character, charisma, confidence, commitment, change.
Leadership is the capacity to translate a vision into reality. I am Marlene Campbell, and I have a vision that I so desire to translate into reality with your help in discovering the infinite possibilities of our academic and personal life. Now, how will we achieve these realities? By augmenting the current tutoring program with the hope of improving the academic performances of the student population, improvement to student advisement, lobbying for monthly meetings with students and their academic advisors, and lastly, leadership exploration and developmental workshops with the aim of achieving holistic development. Help me help you to translate our vision into reality. Vote Marlene Campbell for your next VP of Academic Affairs for the United Student Movement 2020 to 2021 regime.
Hello, colleagues. My name is Naftalis James. I am vying for the position of Vice President of Academic Administration for the United Student Movement. My plans and projections include Academic Committee, hashtag Keeping Up with Grades, IMPA Program, Amendment to the United Student Movement Tutoring Program, essay writing competitions, 10-minute impromptu debate sessions, USM Awards ceremony, and Let's Talk. More details of my plans and projections will follow as time progresses. I am Naftalis James. I don't just speak the change, I am the change. With Naftalis, you feel at ease.
The proceeding is made possible by the Rural Refuse Campaign.
Greetings, Jamaica and Northern Caribbean University. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Cleveland Bishop, and we're the founders of the Top Tier Academy. We're a financial education business here in the United States, specifically running out of Atlanta. And we're here to talk to you guys today about Ruel and his potential candidacy for the United Student Movement president position.
Ruel's been one of our outstanding students in the academy, and he's always had big visions with his hedge fund plans. So we've always endorsed it. He has big plans, and he's excited to share everything with you guys there at the campus.
Right. So Ruel is a leader. He's very, very dedicated to learning more and more and more about finance. But outside of that, you can be, very professional and highly skilled, but if you aren't empathetic and if you don't understand people, then I don't think, any type of leadership position is for you. Ruel definitely has all the attributes of a leader, but then he also has the plan as well. So the hedge fund plan he has is one that centers around conscious capitalism in some way, shape, or form. That is very serious nowadays. People want to know where their money is being invested, and anybody in any capacity right now that is looking to develop their expertise in the financial services world, I think we need that, in this day more than ever, especially with what's happening right now with the coronavirus.
And guys, we are extremely excited to share a little bit more about that plan with you. That's including everyone in Jamaica as well as NCU guys. But again, that can only happen on April 8th if you guys vote, and we'll look forward to hearing.
And listen to your presidential candidates battle it out for a chance to represent you for
building 5% for student scholarship, 2.5% for infrastructural development. What will happen to the rest of the funds, since it is students that are working to produce the profit? So if you're pumping $100,000 into it and you're sharing out around 10 to 20%, what happens to the rest of the 80? And how do you justify the use of students to provide revenue for the church?
I will answer in the order the questions were received. I'll just ask you to repeat the last question after I would have answered the first. Now, okay. There was an additional document that was shared with the Director of Elections. I expected it to be given to the judges. But the 90% will be used to pay all students employed to the initiatives. Allocation and other expenses and miscellaneous will also be taken into consideration. The remainder will be compounded. That is, after the allocation for expenses and miscellaneous and paying the students would have been taken out of the whole profit, the net profit will become a compounding strategy for us to form a new capital. So say, for example, we have 35% remaining of the entirety of our profit goal, which is 100,000. That 35% will be added to the 100 to become 135,000. Due to this change, the value of all percentage allocations would be redefined. For example, the initial 2.5% was 2,500 US. That 2.5% will now become. Please go ahead with your other question.
All right, so if we understand it correctly, you're saying that the rest of the funds, the other 80 to 90%, will be used to pay the students who are doing your Forex.
Yes.
All right. So how do you one justify and two ensure that the use of students to earn, how do you justify the use of students to earn revenue for the church? And how pragmatic will it be to have them working as Forex traders during their class sessions?
They won't be working as Forex traders during their class sessions. It will be outside the class sessions. The trading hours that we want to work with is the Tokyo and the evening trade-off sessions. Those are the sessions we want to work with. So early morning, just to set a trade, late evening, just to review the market, to have an outlook for the following day. In answering your other question, no students will be generating funds for the church. This is an initiative that is being presented by me, and I'm just offering myself as I see needs. So it's not that students will be generating income for the church. I don't think that's the right outlook that one should have where this is concerned.
All right, thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Orville Morgan here. Question to Ruel here.
Yes, please go ahead with your question.
Mr. Hay, thanks very much for your presentation. You'd have done a good job in sharing and presenting your dream. And
thank you, sir.
It is a very good feat in what is there on paper. My question to you though is, with all that is happening with this pandemic, you're looking at $100,000 to push forward an initiative from this standpoint. How do you plan on achieving such a feat? Because this is especially in what is proposed to be the worst recession in the history of this world, the economy. How do you plan on projecting that feat and getting that done?
Thank you very much for your question. Now, because I care, I would have looked at three options. Firstly, there's an FTMO company that gives funding to traders. I would have been approved for that company to grant unto me 100,000 US. Furthermore, from an electronic transfer account. And finally, there are sponsors that will be coming on board in the form of my broker, Blueberry Markets, which have already confirmed, and my teachers, who an endorsement video is going around with, Top Traders Academy, inclusive of Kyla and Cleveland.
Thanks much.
Okay, if we have no more questions from our judges, we will now go to YouTube for some more questions from our students.
Okay, may I have one more question to Ms. Hibbert?
Yes, sir.
As it relates to the adjustment to your proposed adjustment to the bulletin, the fact that the bulletin is in place for every 2 years, and in the coming year it is, well, in short order, it is being proposed for every 4 years. When do you plan on having that proposal as it relates to the absences and the other concepts that you shared be enacted?
Thank you. My proposal is not to change the bulletin, but rather to advance a graduation program check that works in conjunction with the bulletin. So like for example, how at the end of each semester after doing your courses, there will be an update on the system. Should should you click the section that says generate academic your GPA information, it will be something like that that I am proposing, where it will be updated at the end of each semester, and students will be able to generate to see rather how far or how near they are to the graduation process.
Thank you.
I have a question for both presidential candidates. This is Sherry for Virtual. You've proposed several things which are good initiatives, and hopefully you would be able to implement those, or at least some of them. Question though, in general, the culture on campus has been waning over the last several years, and most students are not really interested in activities that we have on campus or in taking part in these activities. Even now, as we look on the live YouTube stream for this debate, there are less than 100 people attending out of the 3,000 something students that we have on campus. How do you propose to get the students involved in the initiatives that you're campaigning for, that we have enough students that it can have a major impact in moving the university forward?
Thank you for your question, Dr. Burchell.
You're welcome.
As it pertains to the same, I would have realized that most initiatives are engaged in entertainment. We are not seeking to entertain, we're seeking to engage students. So we know that there are many skill sets that are on campus. Most of our social events will be about showcasing those skill sets in some way or another.
If Mr. Hayes finished, I would like to answer the question.
Okay.
I believe that if students see the benefit first of all in what it is that we are doing and what it is that we're proposing, if they can see how it is that it will benefit them and fit within their own spheres and life and will impact them in a direct way, then more than likely they will come on board. How can we accomplish this? Like any other major business or firm, through advertisement. I think that we as a USM should, and the current regime has been doing a really good job of, making, having an online presence, doing more of that. And also as well within my manifesto, I mentioned making NCU the hub of discussions, whether it is political, whether it is biblical, to find a way to have synergy between the clubs on campus and make students
Time. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Bartley, do you have a question? Ms. Bartley? If no questions, we will be moving to YouTube now. All right. We have quite a few questions waiting for us in YouTube. The first question goes to Ruel. How will this independent fund be regulated to ensure that transparency is maintained?
Thank you for that question. Because I care, it must be noted that all information will be available to the public, as in the student body. Firstly, we have accountants which are there to show the financial records. And that is why they're there, not only to calculate, but to make public the financial records so that the students can be assured that this initiative was the right initiative and we are operating within a regulatory context. A monthly update will be given on the same.
Okay, thank you very much. We have another question for you. The question is, what are the criteria that will be used to select the 100 students?
Thank you again for that question. The criteria will be, once you are a student of NCU, you can be a part of the hedge fund. It is open up to the public. It's open up to the public in terms of students. Anybody can come and just say, I want to be a part of this. Let me go through the process, which will be in the form of a registration. And that is it. Again, it is a CARE initiative, and it is to garner funds that can even aid in paying school fees.
Okay. And before we finish with you, we need to ask this question that has been trending. It takes a year or more with intense training to become a profitable trader. Where will these students find time with their coursework to learn this craft to generate the results you project?
Thank you for that question. The same would have been taken into consideration because I care, right? Most students don't have classes between the hours of 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Differently from that, USM engage in nightly events most of the time starting at 7 p.m. or 7:50. With that being said, it must be noted that this time period is the time period in which we would want to engage in any form of training. Furthermore, it is not required for you to be in trading 1 year for you to be profitable. And an assessment will be given to show the students who would have been engaged that that is not a required reality.
Okay, one more question is, because your plan is based on profit through Forex, what if there is no profit? What's your contingency for funding?
Please repeat that question.
Okay. The source of funding for the plans in your manifesto is based solely upon the traders making a profit through Forex trading. What if there is no profit? What's your contingency for funding?
There will be a trust fund initiative. And this trust fund initiative will be based on the promises made by alumni, which would have been followed up with through the current regime. There are different persons from alumni that would have promised that they are willing to give towards aiding in helping students to develop themselves on campus, particularly where education is concerned, the paying of school fees. This we can utilize, even though it may not be able to take care of all the initiatives, because CARE is involved, it will be able to help in some way, particularly in helping the students with their school fees.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a question for Ms. James. How will the award ceremonies be significant when we have honors convo, stellar awards banquet, as well as clubs and departments giving awards?
Thank you for that question. It is different in terms of students. All students will be recognized, not only a set of persons. So if, for example, the honors convocation, my GPA was a little bit below average. Sorry. About that. So if my GPA is a little below what is required to get an award, then the USM award ceremony looks at highlighting all students. If your GPA has increased by just not much, or if you have been an exemplary student. That is how it is different. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We have many more questions that we want to push out to our presidential candidates and our VP candidates. But in light of the time, we must go. We must wrap up. So please join us again tomorrow for our second session with our presidents. They will be having another time to, sorry, they will be having another time to just lay out their plans and projections if they should sit in the office of presidency for the incoming regime, USM 2020 to 2021. Please remember also that our election date has been set for this Wednesday, April 8th, and we are looking forward to your votes coming in. This is how you will get to choose who you want to lead for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please come again tomorrow, same place, same time. Have a good evening and keep safe.